Hey guys, welcome back to another Grill the Leader. I'm with Caz, I'm Eilidh, and today we're going to be grilling Jane. Her specialist subject is her job, which is photography. So Caz is going to start us off with some questions. So there you go, Caz.
Thank you so much, Eilidh. Jane, it's great to have you with us today and great to find out a little bit more about you. I've got the random questions and kind of quick fire on a lot of these, I guess. So first thought that comes to mind. So we're going to ask you a lot of your favourites. Okay. So I'll just say a word and just tell me what your favourite one of these things is. First thoughts. Okay. What is your favourite book?
Oh, so my favourite book, I don't know if I quite have a favourite, but one I really enjoyed reading was Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. I think that's the title. Love that book. But I tend to read a lot of books. I don't really have a favourite book.
Cool. Favourite TV show?
Ooh, TV show. Probably the most recent TV show that I actually watched all the way through was Designated Survivor on Netflix. Enjoyed that. It's good.
Good choice. Favourite movie?
Oh, this is really difficult. And I thought you might ask this question, so I've given this some thought. I mean, an old classic, I love Rear Window. Obviously, there's a photographer in it, but love that film. But I also love like the Up, Inside Out. I love animated films as well.
Eilidh and I were having a great chat about Disney movies right before you came online as well. So there we go. Obviously a shared love around here. Favourite game?
Favourite game? Probably Monopoly.
Ooh. Yeah. Favourite song?
Favourite song? I like upbeat songs. So I love like Kylie's Dancing, but I also love like anything by Sia. Love her. Yeah.
Great. Favourite flower?
Oh, easy. It's a peony, blush pink. Favourite.
Good choice. Favourite sport?
This is another tricky one. I love tennis. Absolutely love it. But I also love running. It's what's got me through the last few weeks. So yeah, both of those.
Cool. Your favourite place?
My favourite place has to be home because I'm here with family. But there's so many places that I love, and probably most of those in Northern Ireland because obviously that's where I'm from. Yeah, so many great places.
Cool. Favourite Bible character?
Oh, tricky, but actually, that's a really difficult one. I'd probably say Mary, because she was the one who found Jesus first and broke the news, and that was such an amazing time, place to be, discovery, all of that. So
cool, great choice. I think you've possibly alluded to this a little bit in one of the last questions. One of the questions we got in was, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, lots of things, but I mean, for fun, spending time with people. Yeah, that is my favourite thing, and I feel so lucky just now because I am home with my family, and I just love spending time with them. But actually, it's been great spending time with people on Zoom as well. I didn't think I'd enjoy that, but I think we're all learning to enjoy that. So yeah, it's good.
Cool. For you, what's been the worst thing about lockdown?
The worst thing is not being able to see people who that you really miss, and that we would have round, and family who are further away. Yeah, that's been really tough, and you don't know how long it'll be till you see them. But yeah, we've just got to get through this stage, and we'll come out the other side of it, hopefully, all being well.
Yep. So Jane, you've got 3 kids. And one of the questions we had was, do you have any advice for keeping faith alive in a family?
Ooh. I think for keeping it alive in the family, it's about always kind of bringing yourself back to your own faith so that you can share that with your kids. And probably one of my favourite verses in the Bible is actually in Hebrews 11 verse 1, and it talks about faith being sure of what you hope for and certain of what you don't see. And I think it's hard in some ways to have that faith right now because we can't see how we're coming out of this. But actually we just got to bring ourselves back to the Word, bring ourselves back to God, and just have faith in Him that He's got this. And it's a really difficult time, but He loves us, and we just need to have faith in Him through this time.
Great. I think that's a great place to hand over to Eilidh and her selection of questions for you.
Oh.
All right. So first question is, what did you study at uni and do you enjoy it?
Okay, so at uni, I studied sociology and social policy, and there was a bit of different subjects thrown in there as well. Uni, I really enjoyed my uni experience. There was a lot of hard things at the same time, but it was just a great experience. Living away from home, I went to university in Stirling and made some great friends there, and yeah, it was really good.
Right, that's really good. Second question is, you used to be a trainer. Why did you decide to become a photographer?
Okay, great question. So yeah, before I was a photographer, I was a trainer, and basically the job changed, and basically kind of through the crash in 2008, and the whole financial situation changed, and my job wasn't there anymore. So I was made redundant, which at first I was like, "Oh, scary," but I had always had this kind of deep within me desire to be a photographer that I just was never brave enough to actually do anything about. But it's funny how when you are forced into something, in my case, I was made redundant, you find a way to make it work. And for me, it was just the catalyst that made me change things up and go after it. And yeah, I've never looked back.
Right, well, that's always a good reason, yeah. So who is an inspiration to you in photography?
Okay, so there's kind of quite a few inspirations. Kind of one of my first inspirations was actually a friend who would take photographs, but they would take photographs in such a way that really captured something about that person, and you would almost see them in a slightly different light. Like they would look like themselves, but it was just really capturing something. And I think that is what has always inspired me. So even people down the road, so I mean, a famous photographer, Mario Testino, I think he really captures connection. Sue Bryce, she really captures connection. Yeah, and I just think there's something in that, but it doesn't need to be somebody famous. I think a photograph can really move you, and it can be in your friend's phone, you know, something they've captured. So for me, that's what it was.
All right, amazing. Next question is, what is the best thing about being a photographer?
I think the best thing is you're there with people like at their wedding, you're there on one of the best days of their lives, and you're right in the middle of that. You're there when they're getting ready, the excitement is building, people are nervous, the family's coming together. There's so much about that that is just beautiful to be a part of, and to capture that is just fantastic. And I mean, even if it's a family shoot or an event, it's people are celebrating something or they're enjoying something. Yeah, so I think they're the best moments in photography.
Yeah, we've actually got some photos that you took of us, like around the house, so it's lovely to see that. So next question is, how do you bring your faith into what you do?
So I guess I if I'm really honest with myself, I don't know how much I do, but I guess I just try and approach it by being who I am, and I guess trying to solve, sometimes weddings don't always go to plan, for example, so it's trying to solve little issues as they come up if I can, trying to be there for my clients, but ultimately it's always seeing the person in front of my camera to try and capture who they are. So trying to capture how they're viewed. So as a mum, I try and capture mums with their kids looking at them, you know, with a great big smile, or having a laugh, or just what they've got to capture some of that. And I think for me, one of the key things in that is having patience for that shot. So it doesn't always, it's not, for me, it's not always going to be the first couple of shots that's going to get that. People need to relax in front of the camera and give them some time so that they can almost forget that I'm there, and they can just have their own wee moments, and that's when I'll get the best photograph of them.
Right, that's kind of, you kind of answered the next question, but what is the most important thing you need to remember when taking a photo?
Well, for me, it's about getting that connection person, and that can just be, even if it's for like a corporate headshot, it's getting them to connect with the lens and just make that connection, because it just makes such a difference.
Okay. So what has God been saying to you?
I think recently God's been saying that, you know, I mean, a lot about faith and just drawn back to Him, but also just so much about love just now, and yeah, how we can be there for people when we can't actually be there for people, and how can we be there for people in other ways, and sometimes that's just a phone call or a text, but yeah, a lot about that.
Yeah, really amazing. And my last question is, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self, and could you share it? Please.
I think this is a really hard question, because there's probably so much I would want to say if I could speak to my 16-year-old self. But I think it's just, if I could say anything, it would be, you know, you've got this, you're going to be okay. Life isn't going to turn out how you thought, but you're going to have a good time. Find those good friends, and I think invest in your relationships, and yeah, you'll be fine. I think it's such a hard age, I think, when you're 16, because you think, oh, you know, if I do this, is that determining my whole life? And it's really not. Your life can take so many different turns. And I think, also, don't have any regrets about things. Just kind of, make the most of the life that you have.
Yeah. That's really amazing. So yeah, those are my questions. So
Thanks, Eilidh.
Thank you so much, Eilidh. They were amazing questions. I dare say that. Jane, I just want to thank you for answering some questions, and maybe just ask one more question, another one that I've not primed you for. So here we go. I want to just tell us a little bit about your story, like how you came to faith.
Okay. So I grew up in a Christian home, so we went to church all the time, well, every week. And I think I can't really remember a time when I didn't believe in God. And I'm not sure that I have a specific, I was maybe about, I don't know, somewhere between 4 and 8, I think, that I actually made a commitment. But yeah, I think for me it was, I think I was at some kind of a camp when whoever it was speaking, just all the kind of pieces just fell into place. And I think it's because sometimes when you're brought up in a Christian home, you kind of go along with it because your mum and dad take you along. But actually, at some point, you decide for yourself, is this for me or is it not for me? And but also, I think it's as you go on through life, you make a commitment, you decide for yourself, but then it's almost like a daily commitment. It's a relationship that you build, and just having God in my life, having someone that I can talk to every day about whatever is just amazing, and just gives a real sense of peace when things are tricky. Yeah.
That's amazing. Jane, thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for answering our questions as well, for being up for answering some of those difficult questions from Eilidh. It's been great to get to know a little bit more about you. We will be back next week with another Grill a Leader. You can find all our Grill a Leader videos on our YouTube channel, so please do subscribe and stay up to date with what is going on. So again, Jane, thank you to Eilidh as well, and I will see you all next week.